Hey guys, it's Ellen here, and today we're playing with the watercolor. I'm going to be showing you how I play with the liner brush, or some people might call it a regular brush, but they're kind of similar because they're both this very skinny little brush. I go over everything step by step. It's just a fun practice slash, doodle that you could try at home. So if you have any questions, please leave in the comment section. Please don't forget to hit the bell notification button to know my tutorials up. And also check out my Patreon right here. I have exclusive tutorials there on Thursdays, traceables that go on my YouTube, and ad-free videos there. It's a place people can go and support my channel, which I appreciate so much. So without further ado, let's get painting. All right, let me go over my supplies. I have 2 pieces of Arsh 100% cotton cold pressed paper, taped down with Scotch tape. They're 5x7 pieces, and I'll just tape them on a piece of cardboard just so they can do, I don't want them to buckle as I'm painting it. My water, paper towels, my paints, I go over them as I use them. Everything's in the description box. You just hit those little words underneath the description that says show more, and you click on them, and the whole description box drops down, and you can see all the supplies there. I'll be using my Grumbacher 10 and the liner brush. We're going to have fun with this guy today. I have another tutorial that I'll link in here that I use a liner brush with, but we're going to have fun like doodling with this one today. So, and also we're going to be using some acrylic ink, white. If you don't have acrylic ink, try using with gouache, see what happens. So basically, we're just going to play around with color and washing color, and then we're going to use the liner brush for the fun part of it. So I'm going to mix up this. I have a Verdier blue, which is pretty blue here. I'm going to get this loose, activate it. Magenta. We can make some purples, some blues. So I have my magenta. Get that loose. I'm going to mix it with some Verdier blue and make purple. Mix a nice purple. I'm going to mix up a good amount of paint. I can also mix in the, I have peacock blue here. Make a nice pretty purple. I also have Prussian blue over here. I'm going to play around with blues, purples, magenta. So I've mixed up some paint already, right? We got some blues, Verdier blue, magenta. I might get rid of some of that. It doesn't have to be blue. It can be any color you want. So I'm just going to get some water on clean my brush and get some water on my grumbacher, and I'm just going to kind of wiggle it all around here in spots. Remember, we're having fun here. There's no rhyme or reason to any of it. You can get the whole page wet, or you don't have to. I'm just getting some areas wet. And then I'm just going to kind of just basically wash in some of the color that I have already mixed. See, I'm just kind of washing it in quickly. Let that bleed. And some purple down here. If you keep it in certain color tones, it will all look pretty no matter what you do to it. So I'm going to keep it in blue tones for this one. I'm going to grab some of the peacock blue. If I don't like that's a little too bright, too turquoisey, I grab the magenta, go right in there, and look at that purple. Some purple colors. And I have my Prussian blue. That looks nice. I didn't like the peacock with that. It was too intense. I can still go have some more of my magenta. Now, I'm going to move my paints aside so I can lift up the cardboard. You can play around with moving your paint. Just going this. I'll add a little bit of more loose paint here. I have my Verdier blue. I'm going to add that to the side. So it can be on the side. It can be in the middle. Wherever you put that water. And if you didn't put the water, you can add it too. See, I didn't put water here. Just go and add some pretty Verdier blue that's mixed into that purple. You're going to want to do some dark areas too. So I'm going to grab some of that Prussian blue. Not too dark. And more Verdier blue. And I can mix some magenta to that and make it purple. We just want to have a little fun today. You could cover the whole page, but I suggest maybe not. Just kind of like have like an area. That's all I'm going to be doing. I'm just kind of edges, kind of clean up the edges a little bit. I'm getting them wet. Gonna add some more paint. More of this blue. We're gonna just dabble. Adding some blues. Maybe some magenta. Oh, that's a dark purple. Playing around with all the colors here. But I'm keeping in the blue tones. I'm gonna grab some more Verdier blue. Like I said, you don't have to do the same thing I'm doing. I'm just kind of dabbling with the color here. Taking some of that off. At this point, now it's still wet. We can grab our acrylic ink. I'm gonna grab a really just kind of a cheapy, kind of crappy brush. An old brush. And we're gonna splatter some of this paint. So I'm gonna take an old brush and grab another brush or a pen or something, and you're gonna smack. Ooh, look at that. It kind of like repels it in a way. See that? It's really fun. Now those are big ones. I'm gonna try to do smaller ones. It's not seeming to cooperate. I like how it repels the color. Just playing around, see? Little teeny ones, there we go. Big ones, little ones. And that's that for that one. If it's just one of my little spot right here, I'll just lift it up. You can play around with paper towel too, kind of making some nice textures, lifting up the paint, you know. There's different ways, see how that makes a like really cool texture. You can use the credit card, scrape it, but I'm gonna continue actually gonna add a few more colors again. I'm gonna make another purple. Kind of in the middle here. Just gonna play around with adding a little more color. And you can splatter that too if you want. Just be careful not to get on the other side of the piece of paper. Okay, we're gonna let that one dry. Hopefully it dries later than it's supposed to, so we can do the thing that I wanted to show you. And like I said, you don't have to splatter it. So in this one, we're going to do hot colors. I'm going to flip it around. Going to do yellows and reds and oranges. So again, I'm going to get it wet. Oops, I still have some pink on my brush. That's okay. Gonna get some. I'm just going to do a little area. I'm not going to do the whole area. I'm just going to do this little area on the side. And I'm going to grab my yellow, cadmium yellow deep. See that? And some brilliant orange. If I mix the magenta with the yellow, I'll get red. Like a nice blush color. Go back and grab some orange. And maybe some pink. It's magenta. I'm just playing around here, guys. I'll clean up my brush and I'll just get this edge softened. And I'll add some more yellow. So I'm just going to keep playing, putting in some yellow. You know, all those pretty bright colors. I'm going to grab my pink again. Maybe down here. And this bright orange. Woo! I want you to have fun with it, guys. And I'll show you what we're going to do with it in a minute. This one, I don't know if I'm going to do the splattering. I think I'm going to keep it without it. And I'm just going to clean off this brush and just take this edge go out here. I might get a little dark in the center there, so it'll bleed out just a little bit more. And I'll explain to you why. So we did all this washing pretty light colors and all the reds and yellows, whatnot. And then we're going to go in and we're going to let this dry, and we're going to go use our liner brush to create something fun. All right, guys? Okay, guys, once that's all dry, see how nice and light it dried? I'm going to take the liner brush. Let's just move my water jars out of the way. And I've actually grabbed some black gouache. Now, if you don't have black gouache, use a Payne's gray, or you might even have a black watercolor, or you could actually use black ink. So one of the two. Here's the liner brush. This is this great skinny little liner brush. It's kind of similar to a rigger brush. So if you have one of those, you can use that. Same thing. Now we're going to take that. I'm going to get the paint on our brush. See it here? And we're going to just make these really loose doodle flowers, right? So this is going to be the center, obviously, because I made it darker. And we're just going to go like this and just wiggle out. Got too much paint on there. Some nice petals. See that? Doesn't have to be perfect. Don't get upset if it's not what you want it to be. See, we're just going to use that. I'm going to create these pretty flower doodles. And it can go over the color, under the color, just like this. And then for the middle, you can kind of wiggle this little brush like that. You see I'm just wiggling it. Taking it and making all these little squiggle wiggles in the middle of the center. And out here on the ends, you can go and just do some wiggles like this with the flower. You can do like another line around the flower again. This is supposed to be like a doodle. Just having fun. You're getting used to the thick and thin part of the liner brush. You know, there's no particular right and wrong way to make the flower. And it doesn't have to be this type of flower. And you can put a stem here. It's a wiggle. Stem. And a leaf. And a leaf. So you make it thick and thin, push down, it gets a little thicker. Isn't this fun? You're having fun, right? Just make these little veins. See, if you push down, if you get enough water, paint on the brush, and you push down, you pull up, you get a thicker line. So you can go back to these guys and play around with that. I think this brush is so much fun. You should check out the other video that I did. Just so many ways you can play around with this brush. See, I might get a little thicker here now. And that was pretty much it, right? You're just taking this doodle flower. It's just really pretty and simple. Right? You can go back in and add little stamens if you want here. See, little dots, dot, dot, dot. Because you already have these funky lines, right? So now you just add the dots with this brush. If you want to add some more veins of the petals, go ahead and do that. But I want you guys just to like really just kind of wiggle the brush, have fun with it. But wasn't that kind of cool, fun to do? Now for this one, I'm thinking maybe the white dots could all be the center of the flower or the flower part. So we can have fun just creating a bunch of wherever the dots went, flowers. See? Same thing. It's like the center. like the center of a daisy. And it doesn't have to be, but I might just go ahead and like play around with it. Listen, it doesn't even have to be flowers. It could be something else. You just go ahead and play around. You can just doodle it all. So I made this one smaller than this one. And again, same thing, kind of just do those little squiggles of dots. This one you can make, actually just go ahead and make it bigger. Who's to say that that one can't be bigger, right? This is how you play around with it, guys. The rigger slash liner brush. And we're just doing a doodle today. This video is coming out on a Sunday, so Sunday's like just a relaxing day. You're just playing, just like on Saturday. The weekend's supposed to be playtime. You know, I've got two here. I could just go over it, highlight one, and go over the other one. I'll make this one more dominant. These would be great cards to give to somebody. And there's just some ideas for you guys to try. If you're out of like, what should I paint? What should I do? Well, splatter some paint and get out. If you don't have this brush, just use the tip of your really small brush. So this one I might use. Just simple doodles. Grab this brush. Making some leaves. See, now I've got this one way out here, but there's no watercolor out here, but that's the fun part of just making a doodle. It's around the paint, it's not near the paint. And see how my petals are not perfect by any means. I'm just gonna play around with all that. It kind of looks cool, right? With the little splattering. You just go like that. I like the black gouache because it really shows up, you know. If you had black watercolor, it's kind of probably turn into more of a gray tone. It won't be as intense. So the gouache will really just be really bright. Yeah, so this one, just a whole different kind of, instead of just doing one flower, we did a bunch of flowers. Don't be afraid to make all these little marks. They don't have to be perfect flowers. You can even just have some that don't even have flowers. You can just do some, I'm just playing with some vines here. Like, you know, everything doesn't have to be a flower. The whole point is to have fun and play. That's what a doodle is, right? It's therapy, basically. Don't bark, Brady. My studio dog, Brady, is here. And he sees something out the window and he doesn't like it. So he's getting growly. So that's that. I'm just going to keep playing around with it. And I want you guys to do the same. I want you to play. You know, and once if you wanted to go back in, be careful though, because it's black and it will bleed. You could add some colors. Or if you know that you want the flower here and you want the stem, and you can paint a color and then paint the black. I have some little stamens over here again, like I did with that flower. Like my sound effects. Just keep playing. I want you guys to play, enjoy the watercolor. So this will get you used to just washing in color, you know, very simply. splattering color, and then using this type of brush to get used to just making simple petals, leaves. Just a different way to use watercolor. Yeah, I think that's it. I think this was a lot of fun and quick and simple. So you could create cards like this very simply. Here, we can just highlight this little one down here. Make it into a big, pretty. I really love the flowers that are going out of the color. You know, the leaves and the petals that are going out of the colors that we put here. Like some of this, like this one out here. Those little stamens. You can put a leaf here. And a leaf here. You see? Just playtime. And that's that. So now I'm going to peel off my tape. It's going to be noisy, so I'll peel it off and then I'll come back. Okay, so I peeled off my tape, you know, which is great because then it has like a nice little border, and there you go. Like I said, it'd be perfect just to frame, or you could mount it on something and make a nice card. This is a really simple, fun little, you know, practice playing with watercolor, getting some watercolor ideas if you're stumped. There's no need for a traceable on my, like I have traceables on my Patreon, but there's no need for this. It's just all play. And I did this in real time, actually, guys. So I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, again, leave them in the comment section. And please don't forget to hit the bell notification button to know my tutorial's up. And have a great day, guys, and have fun playing.